If you listen to your soul, you will know that there is no such thing as a coincidence in this life. Mahavatar Babaji. We often believe that life is an endless stream of events beyond our control, fate, karma, or cruel circumstances. The feeling of being swept away by fate seems to have become a default, an unconscious acceptance. But from the heights of the Himalayas, Mahavatar Babaji, the immortal master, the embodiment of universal wisdom, reveals a truth. Each person can recreate his life, not by fighting fate, but by entering the higher dimensions, where fate is rewritten by light. Recreating life is an inner revolution, a profound transformation in the connection with the source of all things. As your consciousness reaches out to the divine connection with the spiritual masters of the higher realms, the subtle instructions from the higher dimensions become an endless source of inspiration that opens doors of opportunity that the mind cannot reach. It is the guidance of the light of wisdom, dispelling the darkness of helplessness and fanning the flame of hope for a life shaped by the consciousness of freedom. Spiritual masters, who are they and do they really exist? They are not far away, they are behind the veil of consciousness. A common misconception is to see spiritual masters, enlightened souls, metaphysical guides, as distant entities belonging to a mysterious realm. But the truth is surprisingly simple: they have never left us. They are always present, always watching over every step of humanity. It is just that we are not quiet enough, not sensitive enough to feel their presence. The masters are not hidden somewhere far away in the universe. They exist right in the higher waves of consciousness, a space that the mind limited by matter cannot understand, but that pure intuition can feel immediately. They are great souls who have completely liberated themselves from the wheel of birth and death, but with boundless love for humanity, they still patiently lead the way from the higher dimensions. Siddha Lokas, Shambhala, the abode of the Siddhas, accomplished ones, where energy is completely pure, where consciousness vibrates only in pure love and wisdom. This is the source of all enlightenment, where all material limitations dissolve and consciousness reaches perfect unity. Golden light realms, this is where spiritual guides work tirelessly, transmitting the light of wisdom to the world through subtle thought waves, sudden creative inspirations, and also kindred spirits that we are fortunate to meet in life. Ascended Masters Collective, the gathering place of great ascended souls such as Jesus, Avalokiteshvara, Krishna, Saint Germain, Buddha, Lahiri Mahasaya, and Mahavatar Babaji. They do not act individually, but are united as a unified intelligence, a collective consciousness that serves only the evolution of the universe. Higher self field, the deepest space where you, in your highest form, unbounded by time and space, hold all the answers. This is your ultimate wisdom, always ready to guide you if you will listen. They do not need to speak. One invisible touch from them is enough to awaken a person for life. Babaji. Their presence requires no words, no sound. When you listen deeply enough, not just in quiet moments of meditation, but also when you are washing dishes, walking down a familiar street, or looking deeply into the eyes of a stranger, you will hear them. They may speak through intuitive promptings, sudden flashes of vision, startlingly clear dreams, or a strange feeling, not yours, but incredibly clear, sacred, gentle, and wise. Mahavatar Babaji, the living manifestation of the universal intelligence. Babaji is the focal point, the soul of all ancient wisdom, all streams of spiritual knowledge that have flowed through the ages and cultures, from the profound philosophy of Vedanta to the sacred scriptures, from the science of Kriya Yoga to the forgotten Atlantean wisdom. Babaji is the bridge between time and timelessness, between modern science and ancient metaphysics, between silence and infinite power. He is the living embodiment of the collective intelligence of all humanity and the heavens. He has the ability to be present in countless dimensions at the same time, appearing in the meditation of a devotee in India and at the same time, sending a message in the dream of a person in Brazil. His presence is limitless, transcending all physical and temporal barriers. Babaji once affirmed, "To connect with the masters, first, clear the inner noise." Your mind must return to its original state, no demands, no desires, no judgments. The silence that Babaji speaks of is the absence of egoic desire. When the small self stops vibrating with greed, anger, and delusion, the light from the higher dimensions will automatically flow in, naturally like water filling an empty vessel. It is a state of clear consciousness, ready to receive the divine gifts of the universe. Receive spiritual guidance, the divine skills within you. One receptive condition, crystal clear mind. Not everyone can easily receive direct guidance from the masters. Not because they refuse to give, but because your mind is not tuned in. Imagine your mind as a classical radio. The masters are transmitting on an extremely high frequency, supersonic, untainted, absolutely pure. If your mind is filled with noise, such as anger, constant anxiety, gnawing jealousy, besieging desires, you will only pick up the ego noise, but cannot receive the pure light of wisdom from the higher realms. Babaji taught simply but profoundly. Light makes no distinction, but it can only pass through what is transparent. This is a powerful reminder of the importance of inner purification. To become transparent and receptive, you need to actively take the following steps. Meditate daily. Prioritize meditations that focus on the ajna, third eye, or heart chakra. These are energy centers that help open intuition and unconditional love. Keep your speech pure. Avoid negative speech, judgment of others, complaining. Speech is energy, and pure energy attracts pure energy. Eat a plant-based diet. Choose fresh, whole foods that are low in toxins. A purified body helps the mind to be more free, to feel the higher vibrations more easily. Let go of emotional burdens. Practice forgiveness, not to forgive others, but to free yourself from the burden of resentment and hurt. Forgiveness is the key to opening the door to inner peace. Live simply, live deeply, live authentically, reduce unnecessary complexities, live in the present moment, and be true to your true self. Clear signs that you are receiving spiritual guidance. The masters do not speak like mortals. They speak by coincidence. Babaji. When your energy field is clear enough and your consciousness is ready, the masters will approach you through subtle but meaningful signs. Here are some clear signs that you are receiving divine guidance. Synchronicity, irrational coincidences that seem random but are actually meaningful and perfect. You suddenly meet the right person, receive the right message you are looking for, or an opportunity appears at the exact moment you are wondering. Seeing repeated angel numbers, number sequences such as 1111, 333, 444, 777 appear repeatedly when you are praying, facing an important decision, or preparing for a major change in your life. These are coded messages from the universe. Feeling a voice that does not come from your head, a clear, simple, and loving stream of thought appears in your mind, not the voice of reason or ego but the guidance of a higher source. Experience a gentle but irresistible push. It feels like an invisible wind is gently guiding you in the right direction, a powerful urge from within that makes you act without much explanation. Suddenly knowing what you need to do, a sudden understanding, not through a process of rational reasoning, but from some very peaceful, very bright place deep within your soul. This is intuitive wisdom being opened. Don't call it a hunch. Call it what it is, a whisper of the Master in your heart. Babaji. This guidance is not something distant or mystical. It is a part of you, an echo of universal intelligence reverberating in your heart, waiting to be heard and trusted. The art of communication with spiritual masters, mastering your inner frequency. Do not ask for the presence of the masters as one who is afraid. Open your heart like a lamp ready to be lit. Mahavatar Babaji. The great masters do not require a physical form to manifest. Their presence transcends all visible limitations. They do not need complicated rituals, nor do they require external worship. The only thing that bridges this sacred connection is your sincere desire to merge into a state of oneness with the light, the source of all wisdom. Communicating with these enlightened souls lies in the vibrational frequency of your own consciousness. To begin this journey of deep connection, guided by Babaji himself, we will explore ancient techniques refined and combined with modern understanding, helping you tune into your inner frequency and open yourself up to receive. 1. Invisible light meditation, opening the door to the higher realms. When the outer light is extinguished, the inner light will be most visible. Babaji. This is not just a meditation method, but a journey into the inner space where the light of divine wisdom is always waiting to be discovered. Step 1. Prepare the sacred space. Choose a quiet place where you feel safe and undisturbed. Cleanse this space with gentle incense, the soft light of white candles, or the sound of a swinging bell. These elements help create a pure energy field, ready to receive higher vibrations. Step 2. Connecting breath, the flow of life. Take 9 slow, deep, and steady breaths. Each breath is a connection. As you inhale, visualize a stream of pure white light entering the crown chakra. As you exhale, feel that light spreading throughout your entire body, gently washing away all tension and distractions. This breath is the first bridge, calming the mind and opening the way for energy. Step 3. Sacred opening, invocation from the soul. With devotion and concentration, silently recite the names of the masters with whom you feel a deep connection. It could be Om Mahavatar Babaji Namangha, Om Asara Yogananda Namangha, Om Jesus Om, Om Kwanina Om. Or simply say from your heart, Dear Masters of Light, if I am worthy, please come through this silence. The chant is not magic, but rather a direction of your will and vibration. Step 4. Abide in no expectation, unconditional acceptance. Place your right hand over your heart, close your eyes and let go of all expectations. Simply abide in your own presence, feeling the air around you change. You may feel a slight chill, a subtle electric current running through your skin, or a feeling of someone is present even if there is no clear image. This is a sign of connection, a state beyond ordinary perception. Step 5. Record the message, the imprint of guidance. Immediately after finishing the meditation, prepare a notebook and pen to record all the feelings. It could be a fleeting image, a short phrase that comes to mind, a clear sense of direction, a sudden vision, or a spontaneous decision that arises from deep within. Don't judge, just write it down honestly. These are the first whispers from the higher realms. Soul dialogue method, listening to the voice of the soul. People always seek the master through words, but the soul seeks the master through frequency. Babaji. This is a method of deep connection, not dependent on visual images or clear sounds, but through pure emotions and the frequency of consciousness. It is especially suitable for those who often feel that they see nothing, hear nothing, but have the ability to feel very deeply the subtle vibrations. How to do it? Open your heart to the center. Sit in meditation or lie still in a comfortable position, directing all your attention to the heart center, Anahata chakra. From the heart, ask sincere questions into the inner space. Am I being guided? Or if there is a message, please pass it on through the silence. The key is not to expect a clear answer, not to set any expectations about how the message will come. Instead, simply notice any subtle feelings that arise, any sudden thoughts that flash, or any sudden inner light that appears. When the first intuition appears, even if it is just a vague thought, act on it. It is the path, the guidance of the masters. Remember, the mark of divine guidance. Guidance from the higher realms is always subtle, gentle. It never forces, never rushes, and never creates fear or anxiety. It comes like a breeze, gentle yet with a strong guiding force, guiding you in the right direction that your soul has chosen. Practice when the gate of heaven is open, optimize connection. There are special times of the day and year when the veil between the physical and the invisible worlds is thinnest, facilitating communication with the masters. Taking advantage of these moments will greatly enhance your receptivity. Amrit Vela Hour, 3 a.m. to 6 a.m., Dawn of Consciousness. This is the divine hour, when the gateway between the invisible and the physical worlds is wide open. Yogis and sages from ancient times have chosen this time to meditate, practice meditation and meet the masters, because the cosmic energy at this time is extremely pure and powerful. New moon or full moon nights, the power of reincarnation. The energy of the moon has a profound effect on the emotional and intuitive levels of a person. New moon or full moon nights are ideal times for meditation, which help to expand intuition and enhance the ability to communicate with higher realms. Babaji's warning: do not seek masters to escape yourself. If you seek masters only to escape pain, you will only meet illusions in the form of light. But if you come with love and sincerity, you will meet the true master, a higher part of yourself. Babaji. This is an important warning, a gem in Babaji's wisdom. The purpose of spiritual connection is not to escape reality, to seek an escape from the difficulties or pain of life. If you come with that mindset, you may only encounter illusions in the form of light, things that appear to be shimmering but are not the truth. Unity with the source, when you yourself become the light. The ultimate goal is not to find light, but to become light, and to radiate it into the world as holy silence. Mahavatar Babaji. 1. The source is not far away, the source is within you. As you go through all the meditations, as you connect with the masters, as you receive guidance from the realms, there comes a point when you stop searching. At that moment, you return to yourself. The source is not elsewhere. It is not in the sky, in the scriptures, or among the stars. The source is right where you sit, the moment you breathe without clinging. That is when the external journey disappears and your consciousness merges into the self, where there is no longer a boundary between the individual and the whole. It is when you are no longer meditating, but you become meditation. There is no longer the light shining on you, you are the light. Turiya states, when consciousness passes through the 3 dreams of life. According to ancient scriptures such as the Mandukya Upanishad, there are 4 main states of consciousness. Jagrat, physical awakening. Swapna, dream sleep. Sushupti, deep unconscious sleep. Turiya, superconsciousness, the 4th state, where you merge with the source. Turiya is not a state you experience. It is you when all states dissolve. It is where you transcend identity, religion, gender, past, future. It is where the ego dissolves like a drop of water returning to the ocean. And in that moment, you are no longer a learner, you are the way. 3. When you become light, the world is no longer a burden. When you merge with the source, it does not mean that you disappear from the world. On the contrary, you return to the world with a completely new perspective. You no longer react, you only reflect the light. You no longer search, you only give presence. You no longer want to change the world, because your presence is transformation. like Babaji, like the masters. They do not need to act loudly, they do not need to prove anything. Their presence is enough to awaken millions of souls. Babaji's final reminder: you have searched for thousands of lives to come here. Do not waste it listening to noise. The masters are waiting for you to become still. Mahavatar Babaji. Conclusion: connecting with the masters is not a mystical act, but an art of conscious living. When you choose to live with an open heart, a spirit of learning, and pure faith, you open the door for the great wisdoms of the universe to guide you every step of the way on your journey of regenerating your life. Babaji is not in the clouds. He is in the first breath after you awaken from the ego. Namaste.